YouTube, welcome to Upside DIY. So I'm trying to figure out this lock. Maybe I could reuse it. I took off the back cover using a few pry tools. This small little hinge actually worked pretty nicely. And then there's this back plate. I'm just wondering if I could reset this somehow. There's like little springs that that basically wants to come off first and things. I could kind of see like these little grooves right there. Sometimes these locks have a pre-set combination, or sometimes you can set it yourself. I'm not 100% sure. I would actually have to take off everything. So I just took off the springs, and there's a small locking pin situated. So I'm going to try to take off this the back piece and look at the dials. I wonder if I could get a better look. Getting really stuck at these two little plastic tabs, I would say. It's pretty much good to have like a plastic work tray, so I'm gonna just have something like this, and I can just dump parts into it. Strange. So there's just on the left side, there's just a little bit of the edge, and a few of these. This is like this piece that is just strange. So there's two dial wheels. And so that's probably one of the teeth that holds the zipper that came up, or that came from this side. Probably something like that. Then I just pried on this end and actually used the screwdriver and started pressing the tabs in, and it's starting to unlock. Still don't get how these combinations really work, so let's try to get this plate off. And the spring, I took off the spring. It's really loaded or whatnot. So these are most of the parts so far. Even these dials had springs. Alright, so I kept prying with my index finger and prying on the tabs. So yeah, that piece broke off. One of the zipper sides. And I guess we could look at this, how this was assembled. So let's compare it. And this is, I guess, the lever or the button from the other side somehow that had the tabs on there. So, yeah, well, let's look on kind of like this bottom side. There's a few of these notches right here that somehow will line up to lock it. I would say I'm not. So let's hold this up. So this is going to be turned this way. You kind of see the notches on this side. And I think I could put in those notches, put back in the dial, and they are spring loaded, so when you get it lined up, the little springs go on these little posts right here and pushes on the dial. So when you get it, when it's lined up, it will actually, it would actually somehow press and also this lever actually like slides with the button, so it will slide. So somehow you would have to line up all of, well, the dial. You actually have to line up these dials, and then so I put a couple back in, and then also like there's the little plastic, there's little small like pivots or nubs, whatever you want to call it, to go into little holes. So I basically put all those back in, and there will be a spring loaded, but the thing is so let's double check to see how these grooves work. And if I could slide this to unlock it. Sorry. So yeah, these grooves are supposed to line up. So two of them are lined up, but one isn't, and I'm trying to slide it, and it's not sliding. So, sorry. So it's supposed to move a certain distance and try to unlock. It's already kind of unlocked. So let's kind of might slide it the other way somehow. So this is actually the unlock when it goes into those grooves. So there's one right there. Two, three. This whole piece with the small pin, I would say. So this is to the right. It's the lock position, and when I turn the dials, so let's see which combination it's at. It just needs a little bit more of an adjustment. So I slid that. It's at 997 or 6667. And I guess I could readjust this to 666 as a combination, but this piece right here is broken off. But yeah, now I could actually reassemble whatever I kind of have, and have a little bit of puzzle making skills, I guess, or making a lock somehow. Locks are really cool, but well, yeah, they're really cool. If you own it and can really lock up your stuff, it's just like, at least, it's locked up now, rather than with the 3 combination situation. The thing is, repairing there's a locking pin, and there's a combination, then there's a lever, then there's a housing situation, and I really don't know what these springs really are for, but just to kind of keep it in place. And if I were to change the combination, then so I changed the first one, and it wouldn't fully open. And even with or without the springs, well, it'll kind of always work as a lock just by this. But the springs are added more convenience to basically you just don't really know, like, the dial springs. So if the dial springs are on there, then the 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 back wheel will press against the front wheel. Uh, there's this and that, but they could have just glued the back wheel to the front wheel so that the combination would always be the same and things like that. But and use the springs for a better locking pin. Kind of interesting, but just the zipper would actually press those springs down, and then uh, the locking pin would actually engage the zipper. So that's how that works. So I don't know. This might be. I mean, this is interesting to how a combination lock works, and I'll see you guys on the next Upside DIY.